Educational technology. It's never been an easier time to teach. It's never been a harder time either, with the influx of poor student behavior, parental enabling of said student behavior, and administrative back into these terrible alignments. Despite all that, the methods and resources available in education has made this profession almost seamless. Having to manually set up lesson plans by hand, grade papers on some graph paper, and worse, waiting until the copier frees up. As a matter of fact, I strongly despise copiers and printer rooms for numerous reasons. Beating teachers to the printers in the morning is one of them. Constant jamming and troubleshooting issues is also another. This is reflective of the old guard of educational technology, a bygone era of offline teaching versus the surplus of online opportunities we have at our disposal. While copiers haven't completely gone the way of the dinosaur, they're still a necessary evil, but with upgrades and enhancements to make the offline experience a little less painful. Paper still has a strong place in our ed system right now, especially now until we can figure out this whole AI usage and how to properly handle it within our system. On my other channel, The Teacher Show, while I since switched modes to focus on the ills of teaching, there's more to be talked about when it comes to helping teachers navigate education. And I love this aspect more than I do simply finding different variations of saying the same "education is a problem" theme over and over again. And to be honest, when I look back at yesteryear of how teachers had to collect data, I don't know how they did it without our current automation tools and convenience we have right now at our disposal. If you search what is EdTech on YouTube, you get millionaires talking about funding rounds and IPOs. But for the person who actually uses it, that being us as the public school teacher, the definition is useless. So today what we're going to do in this video, we're going to change that. Now you have to understand that EdTech isn't just an app. It's the theory, the tool, and practice of using technology to enhance learning and save teachers a lot of time. So let's start with a brief history for a second. EdTech didn't begin with an app. The overhead projector was EdTech. The film strip was EdTech. Even a basic calculator, all considered educational technology. Now, EdTech has always been about a systemic approach to teaching. The modern view from a teacher's lens is that EdTech covers two things, and that's the instructional tools and the management tools we use every single day. Now, with so many platforms and so many companies coming up, because as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, you have a lot of entrepreneurs, educational technology entrepreneurs, who are coming into the space and claiming to create these educational tools. But a lot of the times they don't really apply to the common everyday teacher. And they're usually for fields that have nothing to do with traditional public education. So we need to look at two case studies from the actual practicality of what is EdTech, what identifies or qualifies a platform to be educational technology for the average teacher. The first case study, one of my favorite tools we're going to talk about briefly, is Edpuzzle. Is it EdTech? Yes. Why? Because it forces accountability and provides instant analytics. Man, you know, the problem with assigning videos is the fact that, number one, they have to have, according to my administrative staff, they have to have some sort of inquiry or assessment piece to it. You can't just assign a YouTube video or any video for that matter and just hope that the students watch it. That's not going to really work. But using things such as Edpuzzle, I know exactly who watched, where they zoned out, and what they missed on an embedded quiz. So it transforms the passive viewing into an active learning for my flipped classroom. The second case study is going to be Nearpod. Does this qualify as EdTech? Absolutely. But why? Because it creates a unified instructional platform for engagement and formative assessments. Now, the beauty about Nearpod is that it could take any sort of, if you don't know how to make really interactive slides through Google Slides or PowerPoint, Nearpod just kind of fixes that because it injects real-time engagement such as drawing activities, VR field trips, and just a whole gamut of things that really differentiates the instruction for students. You have the collaboration board because Google doesn't even have Jamboard anymore, so that makes Nearpod even more vital to actually fill that gap where you're trying to have this little cork board that it offers to where you can have participation discussions on, and you can actually see students respond to things in real time, and they can see it in a holistic perspective. That's what makes Nearpod so unique. It also allows like the live data reports, and that also is a huge benefit to see in terms of where your students go. And there's other platforms that offer that same thing, but Nearpod I hold near and dear to my heart when it comes to those tools. Now, this part we're talking about is going to be your learning management systems, or LMS for short. So these are things such as your Google Classroom and your Canvas, the organizational hub that it doesn't teach, but it facilitates communication, assignment flow, grading efficiency, with a huge teacher benefit, which is providing this sort of digital drawer for everything to have easy access to. The second is instructional delivery and engagement, i.e., again, your Nearpods, peer decks, etc. Now, this is about making the lesson itself interactive and dynamic, with another teacher benefit, which is eliminating the whole sage on the stage, which if you look at my teacher show channel, we know how I feel about that. Nobody cares about a sage on the stage, and they definitely don't want to hear the guy on the side. They don't want to see no guide at all. But these things actually allow you to step out of the picture, and it puts the onus back on the students. Third is assessment and gamification, which is going to be things such as your Kahoot and quizzes, which is now known as Wayground. Now, this means low stakes fun and fast data collection, with a huge teacher benefit of being instant check for understanding data without having to grade 30 exit tickets, which by far is a very convenient factor, which we'll talk about convenience here in just a little bit. The fourth to this educational technology saga that we're talking about is going to be your adaptive and personalized learning in the form of things such as iReady and Khan Academy. Now, this is software that individualizes the lesson plan, offering every student a differentiated lesson without the teacher having to manually create 20 different assignments. And with things such as Khan Academy, you have where it already has this built-in curriculum, and it could take students on a journey without your involvement in it at all. And it's just really a matter of just assigning the student exactly where you actually need them to be, where it takes them from the beginning piece of the lesson and it brings them to a more challenging place by the time they reach the end of that destination. The overlooked definition is instructional design. And before you even open the app, you're engaging in EdTech theory. The most powerful EdTech is not the tool itself, but the pedagogy you actually use with it. So consider the UDL connection, which is Universal Design for Learning. EdTech is the enabler of UDL. You can't provide multiple means of expression and representation without using technology to present video, audio, and text and drawing options. One of the biggest wins for educational technology is going to be time. So when you have an app that automates grading or attendance, you don't use that time to scroll on your phone. You can use that time for small group instruction, one-on-one student check-ins, or actually getting to leave at contractual times. When you hear EdTech, don't think about Silicon Valley. Think about the fifth grade teacher seamlessly integrating a Wayground review after a Nearpod lesson and then updating his or her gradebook on Canvas. That's a real EdTech revolution. Ultimately, EdTech for me is about automation and convenience. That's the biggest reason why this video is being made in the first place, besides just applying and having a new definition or a different definition to be available on YouTube. We as teachers have enough on our plates. That's where EdTech truly shines, and it's like having a digital teaching assistant that never calls in sick. The key word here is automation. So think about simple things like grading. An application like Edpuzzle or Google Forms automatically scores multiple choice or short answer quizzes just for you. And man, that's 10 minutes saved per student, which turns into hours every week that you can now spend designing a better lesson or helping a student one-to-one. Then there's the convenience of centralization. With platforms like Canvas or Google Classroom being your command center, all you have to do is upload a file once and it's instantly available to every student, every parent, and every administrator who needs it. When you click publish on an assignment, it automatically notifies your students and sets the due date. With educational technology, the biggest thing has been data tracking, because no more having to manually print out spreadsheets and having to copy and write things down on your own. That's out the window. That's just send that elsewhere. So this instant visual data is the ultimate convenience, allowing you to instantly differentiate your instruction without drowning in paperwork. EdTech handles the repetitive tasks so you can focus on the things that only you can do, which is teaching. Over the years, I've told many of my colleagues that it's never been an easier time to actually be a teacher. It's never been the hardest time either, because of the student behaviors and all the things, the political side to things that taint teaching. But when it comes to the distribution of work, getting assignments together, I can't tell you how many times there have been many days where I just, over my teaching career, and this isn't even during the AI time, this is during like 2014, 2015, 2016, I could just come in, find something online, and I'll be able to just teach it to any student when it came to English products, whatever the case may be. It's never been an easier time to be a teacher. You don't have to wait in line for the copy machine or anything like that. Long as I have a projector, a laptop, I can make magic happen. Speaking of AI, let's look at the absolute frontier of convenience, which is artificial intelligence. If you're using AI properly, it could be your personal content creator and data analysis, and it's saving teachers an estimated 5 to 6 hours a week. So think of it this way. AI can take a complex text and instantly differentiate it into 3 different reading levels. In my teaching show, and on my Teacher Show YouTube channel, I talk about how AI is going to replace teachers, but for those teachers who know how to pivot, who know how to take advantage of the technology to reinvent themselves and do those sorts of things, like I want to bring in a different side to that video right here, right now, because if you're able to use AI in a very productive way and you're creative with it, you know how to use it as a personal assistant and not use it to do all the work for you, that's where the changes and that's where the dynamics are going to shift when it comes to you being a teacher and really just how you actually do other things in life as well. And just experiment with things like Google Gemini. I didn't taking like assignments and created different versions of a worksheet or 5 potential essay prompts for a quiz, all in the time it takes for me to type a single sentence. That is the mind-blowing thing about it. Before, there was all these hours of manual work, and now it's just done in seconds. The greatest automation happens in preparation. So you need a rubric, a parent email template, or a lesson plan outline for a substitute. AI will draft the first version, leave you only the human task of personalizing it and refining it. That's how you utilize AI to its maximum benefit. And here's the most important part. All this automation isn't just about making your work easier, it's about making your work shorter. That is key. For the longest time, I have to confess, for the longest time I was anti-AI, and I had more of a conspiracy brain behind it. When I actually started truly just playing around with it and experimenting with it, I really learned how much time I'm actually saving when it comes to grading, when it comes to planning all these administrative tasks. I'm not outsourcing all my creativity to AI. I'm using it for more of the programmatic aspects of it's systemizing and setting up things for me, looking at it as a personal assistant. I can't stress that enough. If you take that vantage point, it'll be a huge key benefit for you. So all those hours used to do those things on the living room floor, trying to prepare on a Sunday afternoon for Monday, those hours are reclaimed now and they translate directly into time with my kids, going to the gym, well, outside gym for me, or just personal hobbies. So AI and EdTech isn't just about being a better teacher, but I'm really stressing how you can actually use it to get your life back. What does Tamar Braxton always say? Go get your life. That's what we need to do when we're utilizing AI. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. Students aren't writing that well, and having to read, grade, janky, broken writing is the opposite extreme of having to decode classic literature such as like your Chaucer or an unabridged Edgar Allan Poe literature. They are both mental exercises where reading the classics builds your skill, while reading long run-on sentences and broken grammar just mentally exhausts the living daylights out of you. So AI could be stressed out for me when grading these very vapid essay submissions from these kids. Now, while the tools I've mentioned here are excellent, and I have been a user of them myself over my 11 years of teaching, there's still a gap in the market for teachers looking for non-membership, one-off tools that have little to no internet requirements. So I present to you my new Teachers Pay Teachers store, the offline EdTech tools and game store, will offer a vast array of different single-use software products such as drag and drop builders, seating chart generators, sentence constructors, and more being added as time allows in between my teaching and family responsibilities and church responsibilities also. So you can stop by and purchase these tools now, right now in the pinned comment or the description box below.